Hi, welcome to this video. Today I selected another question from Twitter, and today I want to look at the question from Victor Chan, and he asked me on Twitter, how can I shorten my learning curve as a trader? So this is a great question, and I know that a lot of new traders have the question, and me too. As I started my trading career, of course, I always looked for shortcuts, and I always looked for how can I shorten my learning curve. So how can I make progress much faster? And I want to give you 7 tips how you can shorten your learning curve, and we will go through them each by each. So the first thing you have to understand, and you really have to put in your mind, is there is no shortcut to trading success. There is never a shortcut to success. Of course, some people are lucky and they made a few good trades, and then they think they are the market wizard. But that has nothing to do with long-term success in trading. Long-term success in trading always starts and ends with hard work. So it is always hard work. And hard work does not mean to spend a lot of hours, but to be very disciplined, to work on yourself, to be patient, and all these soft skills or soft factors, they require a very hard work on yourself. And there is no one book, or there is no one video course or whatever you have to attend or you have to read, and then you are a successful trader. There is no book in the world where a holy grail is described, or where the one trading tip is included that everyone must read. I looked for that years ago, and I never found it. So I found a lot of different, very good trading tips and a lot of inspiration, and that helped me to create my own trading style. And especially this, so creating your own trading style, that is the most difficult thing in trading, because in that situation, your personality and creating a system with an edge comes together. So both puzzle tiles must fit into each other. So a mathematically edge and your personality. So creating money with your trading system and being able to execute the system. And if you read a lot of interviews with traders, or listen to interviews with traders, or talk to traders, you will find out that all traders have different trading styles. Of course, they believe to some categories, like swing trading or day trading styles or can slim or whatever. But every trader does something different, because they adapt the style or the trading approach to their personality. So some take more risk and some take less risk. Some are better with the entry and some are better at cutting losses. And that is the type how you adapt existing trading systems or whatever to your personality. But that takes time, and that requires also to make a lot of mistakes and to find out what you have to improve. And there is no shortcut, but because there is no list or there is no school or whatever where you can learn exact the right steps to become a trader. So that's my opinion, and that's my experience, and that's what I personally personally get as a feedback from a lot of traders who write emails and social media messages, etc. to me. So they all find something for them, so which fits their personality. So look at the second point. Look at the right things as fast as possible. Books, attitudes, trading systems. This is something which really can shorten your learning curve. So looking at the right things, but you have to find out what are the right things and what are the right things for me. And this is something which needs experience. And this is something which needs making mistakes and correcting them before you find out what are the right things. But I can give you a few tips on that. The first thing, ignore everything which tries to sell you things, for example, books or video courses or whatever, which promise you to get rich quick or to make a fixed amount of money per month or something like that. So ignore that. Those are people who want to make money with video courses and with books. And from my perspective, that's okay. So it's a business. But ignore them because they try to sell dreams. And you as a trader, you don't want to buy a dream. You want to have a trading system which is working and where you can make money and which are you able to trade. So that's important. And looking at the right things is always, from my perspective, it's always something which you personally can take and evaluate. So where you can look at or read something and then build your own opinion about that. So for example, if you take the Market Wizard books from Jack Schwager, they do not try to explain you how to get rich quick, or they do not try to explain you a trading system or something. No, what you can learn in the books from Jack Schwager is you can learn something about the attitudes of successful traders. They do not, they are not the same people like you, and you will never reach maybe the level of the traders. And some books are old, so they are 30 years old. But you can see how a successful trader thinks, and you can you can see what are they doing and what are they doing differently, and etc. So you can see the personalities of different traders, and then you can build your own opinion about that, and then you can take parts of the book and try to apply it to your own trading or try to think about that. And that's a great thing about for example, the Market Wizard books. And if you now look at other books, so from Mark Minervini, for example, or from William O'Neill, they explain trading systems. And they do it in a different way. So they do not try to sell you a trading system and promise you to become rich or something. No, they go very deep in the details of their trading systems. And you can also take parts out of the book and apply it to your own trading approach, or try to improve your own trading approach with the insights from William O'Neill and Mark Minervini. And another thing is, if you look, for example, at William O'Neill and his Cancelim system, yes, it's a little bit older, but it is working and it is proved. And it is proved by thousands of traders. And if you look, for example, into the US Investing Championships from 2020, so the first places are all Cancelim styled traders. And it's not that Cancelim is the best trading system of the world. So, but it can give you a foundation, it can give you an edge, and then you can try to adapt the canceling system for yourself. And that is something which can shorten your learning curve. So when you look at the right things from the beginning, but it's very difficult to find out what are the right things. Another tip is to look at people who are proven successful and what are they doing and what are they reading. So for example, if you follow some Twitter or traders on Twitter and you know that they won a US investing championship, or you can see that they are posting their statistics on social media, or they wrote books about something. Of course, everything can be be wrong. So they are just posting on social media. But sometimes you can find out if they are really successful or not. And if you have the feeling that somebody is really successful and it is proven by, for example, trade records or books or whatever, and then you can try to find out what are they reading and what they are thinking and what is the trading system they are using. And then you can to build, or you can take those parts and try to create your own trading system with that. And the third point, experience. Experience is something which is absolutely important in trading, and it's underestimated by so many traders because nobody have time today, and everyone want everything instantly. But the world is not working that way. So maybe you can order a book at Amazon and you get it on the same day, but that's not something you can do when you want to become a trader. So because you have to build up your experience and you have to build up skills, and that takes time. So, and the right expectation to say, okay, I need some years, I need a couple of years to learn a new job, to learn new skills. That must be your expectation about that. And that sometimes hurt, but it's a reality. And I wrote down here, experienced short-term traders have an advantage. And that's true. And the thing, or the difference between a medium or long-term trader and a short-term trader is that short-term traders are doing much more trades. So they are repeating their approach, their trading approach, more often as a medium or long-term trader. So a short-term trader, for example, can make 100 trades per week. A medium-term trader makes 100 trades maybe in a half year. And a long-term trader maybe makes 100 trades in 5 years. And that's a different, a short-term trader who is doing 100 trades in 1 week, they get a lot of feedback. They have the possibility to make a lot of mistakes and learn from them. So a lot of situations where they can learn, and that's a big advantage. That does not mean that everyone has to become a short-term trader, but you must understand that the more often you trade in the markets and the more often you have the possibility to make mistakes, the more often you get a situation where you can learn. And that's something where you can take the advantage of short-term trading, for example, and learn with that. But you must always ask yourself if short-term trading fits to your personality. So I'm not a short-term trader. I don't like that. I'm not sitting in front of the PC the whole day. And I personally, I get under pressure when I have to day trade, and I make a lot of mistakes. And that's not my job. So this is not my business, and that fits not to my personality. That's why I'm not doing that. But I have another tip for you, how you can create a lot of learning situations. We will come to that later. Another experience point: reading, watching, and listening to the right material. The good thing about humans is that they can learn something. While reading, watching, and listening. So because always our brain always try to simulate the situation. There is a big difference between passive learning, so like reading or watching or listening, and active learning, so that means really doing something. So doing something has a much higher learning effect. But to train yourself and to train situations or to learn something in a situation, it also makes sense to read or watch or listening to something. And that is something you can use for yourself. So read a lot of time about trading. And with that, I don't mean read books about technical analysis or something. So by the way, I never read any book about technical analysis. No, read something about other traders. So that is my tip. Read the Market Visit series. Read, for example, Momentum Masters from Mark Minervini. Read Pitfalls from Marty Schwartz. So these are books about traders where you can learn something about their attitudes, about their personality. And the same is true for watching and listening. Do not watch so many videos about technical analysis or something. Try to find interviews with other traders. Try to find people who are explaining their trading systems. This gives you a much better shortcut for your learning curve, or that makes it much easier for you to learn something new. Of course, watching technical analysis videos or stock analysis videos can be helpful, so that you can see, okay, how are other people analyze stocks. But look at it from the right perspective. Don't look at, oh, should I enter that stock or should I sell that stock? Never look for trading or for stock tips. So always look for something what you can learn. That's much more important. And the same is true with listening. So there are so many good podcasts with trader interviews out there. So find them on Spotify and on YouTube and on Apple Music, and then listen to them all the time. So when you are in a car, or when you drive in a bus, or when you go for a walk or something, listen to that and try to get as much as possible input. And but make sure that you really listen to the right material, and try to ignore everything about stock tips. So you don't want stock tips from other traders. What you want is to create a trading system, and to create a trading system for your own personality. And that must be your focus. So the fifth point: hard work, skills, training, and mindset. Yes, hard work, skills. Of course, as a trader, you need a lot of skills. So you need chart reading skills. You have to do fundamental analysis. You need experience in analyzing stock stories, so the story behind the company. You need skills and experience to find out what is currently in favor of the market. Growth stocks or value stocks or story stocks or whatever. That takes a lot of time and a lot of experience. But some skills you can train, and I personally, and I want to share it with you. I personally, when I started to take trading more serious, and to deepen my knowledge, or to gain more knowledge in my early trading career, I trained chart reading every day. And my goal was to go through 5 stocks, through the whole history, chart history, every day. So I started with the first candlestick or first bar in a chart, and then I go through the whole chart history. And sometimes that takes a few minutes to go from 1950 until today in a stock. And I scroll through it with the cursors on my keyboard, or with my mouse on my Mac. So, and I go through it really not bar by bar, but I scrolled through the chart. And with that, I learned so much about chart reading, to spot the patterns, to see the volume changes, and also the price changes, etc. And I did it for years. So, and that helps me to really train my brain, or train my eyes, to train it to look for the right chart pattern and the right things in the charts. And years ago, so I think 30 years ago, there was something like printed chart books, and it's not available today anymore. But 30 years ago, people got chart books sent by post to their home, and they can go through the chart books every week. That's something we do not have today anymore. But there are some books which contains a lot of charts. One of them is William O'Neill, How to Make Money in Stocks. I think there are a few hundred charts included. So, and that can help you, especially to analyze stocks which are not anymore around, so which have been delisted from the stock exchange because of a merger, or because they go bankrupt or something. But if you look for books, try to find books which have a lot of charts, not analyzed charts with a lot of drawings inside. No, just plain charts, so that you can go through charts every day. And repetition is the key when it comes to learn something. It doesn't make sense to look at 5 stocks. No, you have to look at 500 stocks per week. You have to look at 5,000 stocks or charts in a couple of months. Repetition is the key when you want to learn chart reading. So go through charts every day. And if you have a trading process, so like me for example, I look at hundreds of charts per day because my screeners, my stock screeners, force me to do that. A lot of people always ask me, is there a screener for a VCP pattern, or is there a screener for a head and shoulders pattern, etc., etc. And I always say no, that there is no screener for that. So your eyes are the screeners. And going through 100 charts takes just a couple of minutes for a trained trader. And the reason is because your brain and your recognition and your eyes are trained. They can spot and notice the chart patterns in a second. And everything started with looking at charts. And the more you look at charts and the more time you spend with charts, the more easier it becomes for you to see all the different chart patterns and to interpret the volume behavior, and to see if the price and the volume is in sync, etc. So experience needs repetition. And that's what I already said with the short-term traders. And that is the tip. Short-term traders have an advantage because they can make a lot of mistakes and they do 200 200 trades per week. But you as a trader, as a midterm trader or as a long-term trader, you can do almost the same thing if you go through hundreds of charts per week. And of course, you can train other situations. So like, for example, risk management situations. You can simulate that for yourself, that you can say, okay, what would I do if a stock gaps 20% against me, etc. These are all situations which you can train and where you can try to find out if you have rules for that or not. And also hard work when it comes to mindset. This is something a lot of people also ask me. How can I train my mindset or change my mindset? And it always starts with repetition. So if you, for example, have a checklist for all your trades, or if you have a written down trading process and maybe a checklist for every day where you go through the checklist and check off all the points. So did I set my alarms? Did I look at the charts from the weekly perspective and not from the daily perspective, etc.? That also helps you to change your mindset. You know, when you want to change your mindset, for example, to change your view from a short-term view to a long-term view, and remind yourself about that every day. So have it posted on your PC, or have a checklist where you can check off a point. Did I evaluate all my trades from a long-term perspective and not a short-term perspective? These are all things where you can really try change your mindset and train your mindset with very, very simple methods. So the 6 points: analyze your mistakes and improve your trading. So analyzing mistakes starts with statistics and with the situation that you write down and report or track your trades. So a lot of people are not doing that. They do not have screenshots of their trades, or they do not have a trading journal, or they do not have a trading diary. Of course, if you are an experienced trader with 25 years, you do not need the tools anymore, because everything is so engraved in your brain and it becomes a second nature. But if you are at the beginning of your trading career, you want to do everything to become consistent and to have a consistent trading process. And tools like a diary or the trading journal or making screenshots from your trades are helping you, because you can analyze the situation in hindsight. So analyzing mistakes in real time is almost impossible. So, but if you recognized that you made a mistake and then you go through your trading journal and to the screenshots and say, okay, that was a situation when making the mistake started. That is something which helps you a lot. I always have in mind one situation or something which David Ryan said. So another very famous trader out of the IBD and Cancelam area. He said that the biggest mistake he did in the past, and after fixing the mistakes he became successful, was that he always bought already broken out stocks, and stocks which are too far away from their trading base. So stocks which are already extended. And how did he discover that? That was by going through all his trades and look at the charts and look at what all the losing trades have in common. And with that, so with analyzing the mistakes and the trades, he find out what he did wrong. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing regularly. So when I'm not happy with my trading, and when I say, okay, something is not working like I'm expected or like it should, I go through my trading journal and I go through every trade and try to see what do they have in common. And when I find something, I create new rules or I create reminders or something like that to avoid the mistakes. So fixing that and improving my trading by analyzing mistakes. So now we come to the last point. Find a mentor or group with successful traders, watching others trade. This 7th point is, in my experience, the best thing to shorten your learning curve. Find another human which you can observe and where you can see how she or he trades. It is not very easy to find a mentor, and that's also some people are asking me very often. So how do I find a mentor? You find a good mentor by trying out different mentors. So that's the point. So you never know if somebody will teach you something which you can use for your own trading. No. But you can try out different mentoring services and be realistic. You will not find anybody in the world who will teach you trading or something for free. No, you will not find somebody like that. So even the best traders of the world will take a fee. So we are living in a capitalism, and that's okay. So it's a business, and pay somebody for good education. It must not be the best trader in the world. So maybe the best traders in the world are not able to teach because they are missing or they do not have the right skills for that. So, but find somebody who can teach you something. That is very important. A teacher should be able to teach. So like, for example, a sports coach is able to train other people. So not the best player on the field is also the best coach. That's very important. So find somebody who is able to teach and who is able or who is also successful. So have a running trading system with an edge. And then try out different services. So when I look at my own trading career, I tried out a lot of different services. So I started with somebody from UK and I learned a lot about trend following, so systematic trend following. And after, I think, 1.5 years, I changed to somebody else here from Germany, and I learned a lot about high potential stocks. So, and then I switched to another guy from the US, and I learned a lot about fundamentals. So, and then I changed it again and just for a couple of months, and then learned something about having an opposite opinion about the market. So thinking a little bit different than other traders. And then I switched to somebody else who is more a short-term trader, etc. So I always try to learn something new from other people. And sometimes when I subscribe to a new mentoring services or premium services, sometimes I find out after 2 or 3 days, okay, that's not compatible with me, and then I ignore it. So sometimes I can cancel my subscription, sometimes not. But if I found out that the mentoring ship or premium ship is not the right thing for me, I stop listening to it. So I ignore it, and that was a waste of money in that situation, but I learned something new. And finding a good mentor or group is always something where you really jump into it, see if it works for you, and if you find something valuable and if you find something where you can learn something, then keep it. Otherwise, change it. And you don't have to start a lifelong relationship with your mentor or something. No, follow somebody for 1 or 2 years, then switch to another service, etc. You will always learn something, and you will always always find improvements for your own trading and to get new perspectives on trading. And again, so do not look for somebody who's doing something for free or something. So you will never find somebody who spends a lot of time teaching other people for free. So be able and be willing to spend a few bucks per month for good education. That's very important. And from my own experience, listening to the people who are paid for education, that was the best shortcut in trading success that I ever found. So that was the real shortcut for me, because I learned so many things, and it was so helpful to watch other people explaining their trades, explaining their thoughts, doing chart analysis, etc. So that was very, very helpful for me, and I learned a lot about trading. All right, so I hope that I answered the question, and that the 7 tips here will help you to shorten your own learning curve. So of course, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment here below the YouTube video, or you can write an email to me or contact me on Twitter. So if you have questions about that. Of course, I always recommend my own ebook. It's for free, so you can subscribe to my free newsletter, and you can you get a download link, and then you can download my personal 25 lessons on the stock market. Then you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. And yeah, I really always recommend to subscribe to my free newsletter. So I send it out every Sunday with trading tips and 3 charts from my personal watch list.